Today I want to talk about the first draft of my first novel that I've completed. It's called Seaside, or at least that's the alias I've given it. That's not its real name. Maybe you'll know it someday, but today is about my journey to finish that first draft. This narrative has been with me since last July, and I was so immersed in it, and it felt mine. And I even had a book I tried to write before college, and it is abandoned now. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. But Seaside, I actually finished, and that is something so magical to me. I just want to tell you how I got there, because I don't want to forget it either. So when I write the second draft, or when I find beta readers, or when I go on submission, or I'm not getting ahead of myself, I hope, but I think it's important to document. So the beginning, last summer I was doing some academic writing for college, and I feel like part of me was getting sick of it. I feel like there was this part of my brain that was saying to me, but what if we were writing something fake? I like fiction the most, and I like writing fiction the most. Around July, I opened Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse, and I think it's up there, so I'm gonna go get it. I opened Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse, and as you can see, I did not finish it. That's not the point. The point is the inspiration. And I pictured this small town on a beach with two boys, and the college writing I was doing was Shakespeare related, so obviously I had ideas about Shakespeare's plays in my head and how, if I were to adapt them, how I might pursue that. The setting really appealed to me, and I imagined Romeo and Juliet on the beach by the sand and the shore, and just what ended up happening is not a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it's about the vibe. And the aesthetic came to me of like boys and the beach and bikes and bread, and like they were just forming together into this, I don't know, like the soul of this book. And I felt like it was something worth pursuing. So in July, the idea kicked around in my head, and I started outlining for the next few months. I discovered, like, this is only the second time I've tried to do this, and I discovered that I really need an outline. I outline so much, and sometimes too much. Like, I collect advice. I watch tons of videos on the AuthorTube community about how to draft a book, how to like nail like conflict beats, how to get through a second act, or how to write a climax emotionally. And there came a point where I had too much notes and not enough story, so I jumped into the story. Seaside is dual perspective with Luca and Julian. They are sophomores in high school, and it is December. What we find out within the first few pages are that Luca's boyfriend Michael has tragically died in the summer, and he is still dealing or not dealing with that grief. And the two meet through cinnamon bread that Luca has sold to Julian's family in order to help with his rent. Julian's family fights a lot at dinner, and the night Luca sold the bread to them, the taste and the magic of the bread and the smell wafting through the room stops the argument in its tracks. Julian thinks that, oh, I need more bread. This is the magic. Like, I need this in my life. So he gets more bread. They continue seeing each other. Eventually, Julian's friend Kayla says, hey, we're going bowling. You can invite someone if you want, and you can guess what happens from there. I was writing it, having a good time. Around September, I had the idea of, what if I did this for NaNoWriMo? And if you don't know NaNoWriMo, maybe you're on the wrong side of YouTube. It's okay, it's a good side, don't leave. NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it is when authors attempt to write 50,000 words in November. It's a very difficult task. In September, I was sitting on 20,000 words, and I knew that if I kept writing at the pace I was writing, I was gonna finish or like have not enough left to go to enter NaNoWriMo with. So I intentionally slowed down my drafting, and when November came around, I had just over 20,000 words. I think it was around 21,000, and I began. Unfortunately, November in college is the worst month for NaNoWriMo because that's when everything is due. So what I did is for NaNoWriMo, I counted both my words I was doing for school, like in papers and forum posts, and by the end of NaNoWriMo, Seaside had increased by 35,000 words and was now at, I'm checking my Instagram, and now the draft was at 58,000 words, which it was actually in real length book territory, which is ridiculous that I had done this, and I was really happy with it. I even did nail art to celebrate. If you want to follow my nail art Instagram, I might leave it down below. It was just all together had me feeling so happy about what I had accomplished. So in December, I had finals and other like college things to wrap up. So December was a light month of working on Seaside for me, but that's okay. It's important to give yourself breaks. But I had a problem. At the end of NaNoWriMo, my draft was imbalanced. The first half of the book was 24 chapters and the last half was 11. And I think you can see the problem. I even like tried to hopelessly draft it out. I realized the problem. Like down here it says too short because it indeed was too short. 23:11. And on the other side is a character sketch that I messed the face up on, so I crossed her out. Oh, did I say dual perspective? It's actually tri-perspective. Trispective. Our third character, Alice, has a much smaller perspective for reasons. She gets a voice in key points of the narrative, and I'm looking over here because what I did to fix this balance issue is I made sticky notes and I visually laid it out. Okay, here's the first half and here's all the blank spaces I need to fill in the second. And I'll put in a little clip of my wall over here with the notes. It's very pretty, lots of colors. It took me about an hour and a half to write down and stick up, and it's hard to get in your brain, oh, I have a balance problem when it's a continuous document, but it's splayed out on the wall. It was very obvious what I had missing, and I created the rest of the story from that. So I had also made a writing progress page, and I kept this for, until I finished my first draft. Very exciting. I hope that's in focus. So yeah. So anyway, I fixed this issue late December, and in January I had a plot to follow. I also pasted my draft into Scrivener, which is a writing software that was gifted to me for Christmas, and I really like it so far. It helps definitely the longer your project is, and it was less expensive because I had finished NaNoWriMo. I finished the first draft about a week ago, and I feel like I had no one to share this with except for my close friends and family, but I don't tell a lot of people that I write, so it's kind of ironic that I'm telling you at all, but I feel like I'm ready to, and I'm glad I made this video. And I hope you stick along for the journey as to where Seaside goes. Maybe one day you'll know its real name. It's got a really jazzy title. Well, that was Southern. It's got a really buzzy title for me. I also don't know if I'm gonna use a pen name or not, something else I have to consider. I'm not even there yet. It's put down for now. I will pick up Seaside soon. I think the end of March. Technically 1 month will be the beginning of April, and I feel like that's enough time for the story to settle in my mind so I can look at it again with fresh eyes, which is very important to do, because if you're still in this, if you still remember a lot of what's happening, you can't judge it with an objective eye as well. I was planning on doing Camp Nano for April, but I don't know, April might be too soon for me. We'll see what happens. I am preparing to read some books in preparation for the second draft. A few off the top of my head are What If It's Us, All the Bright Places, and the third one is History Is All You Left Me, which I realized is a very similar plot to what I'm trying to write, and I didn't know about it. But it's good. I need to know what's in this book so I can inform my own process and inform my own story, because you want to try not to copy people accidentally as much as on purpose. I want what I write to be mine. So yeah, that is Seaside. That is finishing the first draft, that is creating the first draft. I think realistically it takes me 4 months of active drafting to finish a book, but I've only done it 1 time, so that's Seaside. A recording for future Grayson to analyze, to look at, to think, oh my god, baby Grayson. What were you thinking? I hope it goes somewhere. I'm really happy with where the first draft landed. I'm sure there are issues with it, but I'm just happy. Now, I don't really know how to end videos yet. I liked the hand thing. I did that last time. Also, you should subscribe. Who messed up my angle?